Now what are you drinking, Suzanne?
Oh, it's some fruit juice thing.
Yeah, where's your tea? You didn't have the brew.
That's the thing. I've been busy doing a project, a quilting project, and you know what it's like? You're just in the zone, and suddenly I thought, oh my God, it's 2:15. I've not got my hair done, I've not got my makeup done, covered in fluff from the fabric. I haven't made my tea.
That's the thing.
It's okay. I'm high on E numbers instead.
That's the thing about doing this on camera. You have to get, like I had to put a shirt on, I had to do my hair and shave and everything.
I'm not in my PJs. We're all right.
Well, I am from the lower half down. I'm still in my PJs. I got my what do you call it? The floppy bedroom slippers on.
Oh, yeah.
Got my PJs on. I just throw a shirt on and I fool everybody.
That was what, because obviously I was at Awesome Con over the weekend, and we went to the John Barrowman Q&A on Saturday night, and he turned up on stage in his long coat that he wears as Captain Jack, and when he threw the coat open, he was wearing sparkly white high heels and a TARDIS onesie, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of me in the days when I used to do the radio shows. I could be wearing anything and nobody knew. And now, at least from the waist up, I have to be presentable.
I would love to have seen that. He's just crazy, isn't he?
He is so crazy, but so, so lovely. Yeah.
I'm enjoying watching him on Legends of Tomorrow.
Yes. We've just started watching that.
Yeah. So today on the show, we're just having fun chit-chatting, everybody.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Carol just popped in. Hi, Carol. Jacqueline's in there. Vivian. And, oh, boy. So we're talking world year numbers and personal year numbers. I like to do it this way. We've been doing it like this on the radio shows for years and years and years and years. Obviously, at the end of the year, we kind of do a wrap-up. And then in January, we do a beginning of the new year, the new world year. What's your personal year number for the new year? And we talk all about that in the New Year's show. Well, I just had my birthday on Friday, June 16th.
Happy birthday for them.
Thank you. And I celebrated all weekend long. And I thought, hey, Tuesday's going to be the 20th. And I know my birthday is exactly halfway through the year. And so that's always my cue when my birthday's coming up. Okay, we need to do another halfway through the show. Another halfway through the year show to kind of take stock. Like, where are we now that we're halfway through 2017? So in January, we were still on the radio. We hadn't launched Tarot Insider yet. And we had talked about going into a 1 year, new beginnings, and everything else in a 1 year. It's a year to be innovative, independence, be the best you can be, kind of a green light to take advantage of new opportunities. It's almost a do-over after finishing the last cycle. So last year was a 9-year. It was the ending of the 9-year cycle. And now we're starting a new cycle, new beginnings. Don't let fear hold you back. The shadow side, there's always a shadow side to everything. So letting your ego get in the way, being stubborn, maybe even a little bossy in a 1 year. You're putting the focus back on you often. But on the positive side, you're one of a kind. So, celebrate your leadership, your uniqueness, and it's the year of the magician. Right,
Yeah.
Suzanne?
Yeah, that energy is really coming through right now. And it's that whole feeling, and I've had it with so many, you know, friends and with clients and that kind of thing. It really is that energy, isn't it? It's the idea that we really can just wipe the slate clean from last year. I don't know anybody that had a good year last year. Wipe the slate clean, and now we're starting again. So this halfway point through the year is kind of, okay, where are we at with these projects? You know, where the magician, he's there, and he's literally that middleman between heaven and earth, isn't he? And he's manifesting frantically. And this is why I like doing these shows with you, Dax, because it kind of reminds me, oh yeah, we've got to that part of the year where we're doing the midway World Year show. Crikey, where am I with my plans? And it kind of forces you to look at you. Where are you? Are things going to plan? Have you gone wildly off track? And if so, is that a positive thing? Because sometimes when you come out of you come out of a 9-year, I noticed this year, and I had all these ideas in my head. And the first quarter of this year, the first quarter of 2017, it's almost like every plan I made turned to dust.
Oh my.
Projects, I was just unable to finish projects.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and every time I tried making plans, something fell through or something else came up. And I'm like, do you know what? I can either keep fighting this, or I can recognize that this is maybe the new start. Because if I'm trying to do things the same way that I was doing last year, and I found last year a real struggle emotionally, not so much health-wise, but certainly emotionally, spiritually, and energetically, you know, then, you know, do I want to keep following the same patterns? Or is this the universe's wake-up call and saying, do you know what, you did that last year. Look how well that turned out. Let's try something else. So once I stopped fighting it, and it did take me probably 3 or 4 months, once I stopped fighting it and just allowed myself to go with the flow a bit to see where this new 9-year cycle is taking me, then everything started kind of falling into place. And already I'm now seeing the stepping stones that are in place that I was manifesting. Yeah, I started manifesting some of this stuff years ago, knowing that it was going to be a long process. And we're starting to see the steps come into place now. So it's kind of that, it is really that magician energy, that one card in the major arcana, that energy that he has, saying, do you know what, rather than just carrying on doing the same old and being surprised when you get the same results, let's try something new. And I've got so much going on in my life over the next 12 months. It's ridiculous. But this is all stuff that I've been manifesting for a while, using that, you know, trying to utilize the world years. Last year, I really was trying to kind of draw a line under stuff. This year,
amazing when you get in alignment with it.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. It's much easier now. I'm sort of conscious. Okay, this is where we are in the cycle. I know where I am in the cycle, and I know we're going to talk a little bit about that in a bit. Mm-hmm. And kind of recognizing that,
how to calculate your own personal year number.
Exactly. And so recognizing that just because I'm not directly in sync with the world year, my world year is not a 1. So recognizing that, and again, it's just about not fighting with it, about going with the flow and using it. Kind of like, and this is a really stupid analogy for me because I'm slightly sea phobic, but it's kind of like a surfer, you know, and all the time I'm not paddling against the tide. I'm actually riding that wave. That's really what it feels like at the moment. I'm riding that surf, riding that wave into the beach. And I know already that things are going to start coming good. That's not to say that there aren't going to be challenges, but that's the joy of the 1 year. The joy of the embodying the magician is that you can take these challenges and you can work them. And it's part of my witchcraft as well, is taking what I've got and working it to my advantage. Almost manipulating it, saying to the universe, okay, you're trying to throw me a curveball here. I'm going to raise the stakes. I'm going to use that curveball to my advantage because that's how my power works.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really interesting energy. And I've had a lot of feedback, like I say, from clients saying exactly the same thing. They're like, you know what, it just feels like everything, a weight has been lifted off my shoulders and I'm starting again.
All magic is manifestation. It's all intention. And so it's interesting that, you know, the magician is the world year that we're in. The energies are just ripe for manifest. And we've already started doing that, you know. We revitalized the Tarot Guild, renovated the Tarot Guild website, renovated the entire membership and restarted the membership, and started this show, which after doing radio for 8 years, you know, now we're on TV.
Bit of shock to the system.
All kinds of new beginnings all over the place. So the thing with the world year numbers and the personal year numbers that you were talking about, okay, so the Einstein's definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. If we don't know what the numbers are, we can't get in alignment and get into the flow. So that's the most important thing. And that's why we do the beginning of the year show, the ending of the year show, and this show halfway through. Because sometimes it takes a while. You know, it's not like the one energy necessarily starts on January 1st. You know, it may take halfway through the year for it to really get going. Some things happened faster this year that were new projects and new things. Other things took a little longer. And some are just starting to manifest now, especially with revitalizing my career as a hypnotherapist and seeing local clients again and everything like that. It took most of the year to prepare for that. Now I'm just now getting ready, you know. But it's because of our personal year energies too and what's going on with that. I had a great question about this from one of our students in the Angelic Numerology and Tarot course, and I talked all about that, how sometimes the numbers that are the world year and the personal year are kind of in conflict, but it doesn't have to be that way if you can realize what the overarching tendencies are of the world year and then get your energy of your personal year where you are in the 9-year cycle in alignment with that, or take advantage of that energy in some way. And it just depends on the numbers, you know, because there's 9 possible world year numbers and there's 9 possible personal year numbers. Susanne and I both happen to be in a year of 5. Now,
yes, we do.
You can work that energy to your advantage. Okay, so 1 world year, new beginnings, starting new projects, new relationships, starting a new family. A lot of people do that, or moving house and starting a whole new life, living somewhere else, new jobs, new careers, all this kind of thing. I'm kind of in the middle of a little bit of that myself. 5 is a high energy number, and it's the number of change. Think of the 5 cards in tarot. So I use the number 5 cards in tarot to kind of give a visual illustration of the kind of energy we're talking about. Now, if you're not working that to your advantage, it can become chaos, because 5 is the chaos number. That's the other side of the coin. There's always another side to the coin. So astrologers will talk about things like Mercury retrograde. And every time we would have the radio show and Blog Talk would have a technical issue, we always said, are we in Mercury retrograde? And often we were. All kinds of technical havoc going on and stuff like that. But there's always the opposite side of the coin. So the opposite side, the other side of the coin for Mercury retrograde is that it's also a time of high energy like the 5. So if you know Mercury retrograde is coming up, things don't have to be chaotic. They can actually be really good. You can get a lot done very quickly for those weeks or days or the amount of time that Mercury is going to be in retrograde. If you know ahead of time that's coming, take advantage of that energy and get a lot done. Accomplish a lot of the things on your to-do list and so forth. It's the same thing with a 5 personal year. If you don't know it's a 5 year, or you know but you're not setting the intention, which is what we always talk about in January, the January show, set your intention now for the year. If you don't set your intention, things can go off the rails and get chaotic. I always tell people, it's not a great year for making personal commitments or any kind of commitment or signing contracts or anything like that. So just, enjoy it. Ride the flow. Ride a lot of roller coasters. It's a great year for travel. Escape into books and television and movies, and keep yourself occupied with projects and things like that, and just, ride it out, because there's a lot of, ups and downs in a 5 year. But if you plan ahead of time and go, okay, it's a world year 1, and it's a high energy and number of change 5, and take advantage of that, you can have a fantastic year. And so far, I think Suzanne and I have been having a fantastic year.
I would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the changes are coming. I mean, you're about to move back to UK. Is that early next year, or when is that?
Well, the joy of being married to somebody in the military, we don't know yet, but it's looking like it's going to be springtime next year, probably March, April. So that's, this is why when I figured out that this was going to be a 1 year, that it was kind of, well, actually it was more last year with the end of the cycle. It's like, yeah, because we know now when the squadron stands up in the UK, so that looks like it's tying in quite nicely with how our life is going right now. And it is really that kind of foundation laying year, isn't it, this year? And so I'm kind of epitomizing that.
Well, so my point was, you'll still be feeling the residual of this year into next year. The changes will still be happening. And, that's another reason why we like to do this, middle of the year, halfway through the year thing, because a lot of people don't realize that you may be still working with the energy from the previous year. Like last year was a 9 world year. A lot of people are still in the endings part. They're still cleaning house. They're still figuratively and literally cleaning out the closets and so forth, and getting rid of the relationships that no longer serve them and the belief systems that no longer serve them. And they really won't get into the one energy until this second half here, July, August, September, October, November.
Yeah.
So you'll be still feeling the changes. And then next year, the world year is a 2, relationships and so forth. So you'll be getting back to the UK. You'll be rekindling old relationships with friends and family back at home.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what's going to go on next year in a 2 year. It's a year to kind of choose what you love and cultivate harmony in your life, your home, relationships. It's a good year to bring in, new relationships, which also includes not just romantic relationships, not just even friendships, but also partnerships and business partnerships and things like that. Your psychic sense and intuition are heightened in a 2 year. Think of the High Priestess card in tarot. Your psychic sense and intuition are going to be your ally in 2018. It's a year of keeping your balance, and you might find yourself assisting, mediating and negotiating situations. Remember to be a good listener. It's a good year to start a gratitude journal, and every day write down 5 things to be grateful for. Sometimes you can feel a little bit more sensitive in a 2-year, kind of clingy, maybe codependent. But fall in love with yourself next year, and above all, listen to your intuition. That's what's going on next year. Now, how do we figure that out? Well, the world year is really easy. You just take the year and reduce it to a single digit. So 2 plus 0 plus 1 is 3, plus 7 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So we're in a one world year. Now next year, it's 2018. So 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 8 is 11. So you got that master number 11 energy too. But then 1 plus 1 is 2, so it reduces to a 2. So 2 world year next year. Now, we're all always somewhere in the 9-year cycle in addition to the world year. The world year affects everybody on the planet, whereas the personal year is dependent on when you were born. So it's different for everybody. Some people are always in alignment. In fact, I got to tell you this story about Sunday at karaoke at the BFW and talking to the bartender there. I got to tell you that story. She's in a one personal year, in a one world year. And it's perfect. Everything going on is perfectly in alignment. I'll tell you that story in a minute. But it's a great example of how this is a great conversation starter, numerology. If you're a professional tarot reader, you can use numerology, or if you're a numerologist, you can use numerology, especially personal year numbers and world year numbers, to open up the discussion. And the life path number, which is similar to, say, the sun sign in astrology. You need the whole natal chart, but you can talk a lot about, the person being a Libra or a Gemini. Just like in numerology, we can talk about your life path being a 6 or being a 2 or whatever like that. So it opens up the conversation and, can lead to booking clients that way too. So it's a great conversation starter. So with your personal year, you're adding your attitude number to the world year number. Your attitude number comes from the month and the day you were born. Okay, so for me, it's June 16th, so as I just said a couple days ago. So 6/16, 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 6 is 13, 1 plus 3 is 4. So my attitude number is a 4. And then if you've already reduced the year, which we just did, to a 1, you just add the 2 together. 4 plus 1 is 5. So I'm in a personal year of 5. And so is Susanne. Now, the other way to do it is just to add all the numbers together and keep adding them together to get down to a single digit. Oh, Vivian lost her internet, but she's back. Hi, Viv. So what you would do is you would add your month and your month and your day and your year together, the current year. So your life path, you're adding the year you were born. Your personal year, you're adding the year it is. So you would add, June 16th, 2017, you would add 6 plus 1 plus 6 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 7, and you just keep reducing. And if I do that in the calculator here, I'm just going to do mine for fun here. So 6 plus 1 plus 6 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 7 is 23. 2 plus 3 is 5. So that's another way to arrive at your personal year number. You just take your month, add it to your day, and add it to the current year. Kind of helps if you reduce it ahead of time. I think it's easier to just go 2017, okay, 2 plus 1 plus 7, 10, 1 plus 0 is 1, and just remember, okay, world year number of 1, and then just add that to your month and day. You can add them down like we learned originally in elementary school, you know, put the 6 and 16 in the year, this add down and add across. You can do it that way. There's a lot of different ways. But I think it's easier just to add your birth month and birth day together, get a single digit, and just add it to the current world year number. And because it's 1, it makes it really easy. So it's just 1 plus whatever your attitude number is. Real simple stuff. But what's great about it is it's a great party trick, because there you are, you know, and you already know the world year number. You just ask people, hey, what month were you born? Okay, what day were you born? You add them together, add it to 1. Okay, so you're in a personal year of whatever that is. And then they're like, well, what does that mean? And so it just opens, you know, and you can talk about it. You can talk about it being a world year of 1, and, you know, new beginnings and all the different aspects of the world year number as well. And, you know, it can, if you're doing this professionally, it's great, because then you can tell people, well, that's what I do. I help people understand their lives by understanding the numerology of their lives, their numerology chart, and doing tarot readings. And then, boom, before you know it, you're booking sessions with people. So this kind of happened to me on Sunday. We were at karaoke at the VFW.
You and your karaoke.
I know. Well, I'm a singer. I have to be singing, you know. It makes you feel good. And then you also get to entertain people, so it's kind of cool. Not all karaoke, because there's also scarioke, you know, when people are drinking a little too much, but then they get the liquid, we call it liquid encouragement, so then they finally get up there and sing, and they think they sound good. And, you know, the more we drink, the better they do sound, actually. But for those that are outside of the United States, BFW is Veterans of Foreign Wars, similar to like the American Legion and so forth. I belong to the American Legion, but I go to DAV, Disabled American Veterans, VFW posts, things like that. And, you know, usually it's not always for karaoke, but sometimes, you know, and we go every Sunday to this VFW post pretty close here. And we love the bartender. Rachel is just fabulous. And she's fun to talk to and everything like that. And, you know, I can't even remember how we got onto the conversation, but I started to talk about the world year number. I figured out her personal year. Turns out that she's a 1 personal year in a world year of 1. So she's one of those few people where their personal year and the world year is always in alignment. And I think that's really powerful. And the interesting thing is, you know, talking to her, last year was endings. It was the ending of a 9-year cycle. It was a 9-year back in 2016. And we all knew it was a 9-year, even if you didn't know. Because did you notice how many famous people died last year?
Yeah.
We were talking about that on the radio shows, just left and right. And I warned people in the very, you know, the end of 2015 and in January 2016, we had our normal, you know, New Year's show. And I said, you watch and see. Things are going to be ending left and right. Relationships are going to be ending. People are going to be getting divorces. People are going to be passing away. And right away in January, boom, 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 boom. We had like 3 in a row and then 3 more. They all happened in threes or something like that. But turns out, towards the end of last year is when she decided that or they decided that they were going to get a divorce. And now she's in the process of a divorce. And here we are halfway through the year, and she's working on, moving to new places, getting a new home, things like that. So new beginnings with the world year of one. But look, we're halfway through. So it's taken half a year for her to start to get into the one energy. So that's what I was talking about earlier, about why I like doing this middle of the year show, because it doesn't necessarily happen, January 1st. But the fascinating thing is you can see how it was a world year of 9, and she was in a personal year 9. Now she's in a world year of 1 with a personal year of 1. And divorce.
Yeah.
It's just amazing, how the numbers never lie. It's always there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been really fascinating. Obviously, we've been doing these shows for a few years now. And yeah, every year we do these shows, and every year we're basically sitting here going, "We told you so." Well, you told us so.
Well, you now too, because you're going through the court. Yeah.
You talk to, like you say, for want of a better word, you talk to muggles about this kind of stuff. And they start out, they're like, "Oh, yeah, whatever. Oh, Susanne, it's just you and your weird hippie chick stuff again." And then I talk about it a bit more, and you can see them. Oh, actually, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And like I say, you calculate where they are, what their personal year is, and you're like, oh, yeah. Oh, no, that's right. It's like, yeah, see, my weird hippie stuff, it's kind of not so weird hippie stuff anymore. It's in the numbers, It does make me chuckle.
Well, it's interesting. We're at the beginning of starting the tarot by the numbers, and I've been teaching tarot that way since 2004, and it's grouping the cards by their numbers and going through them that way. And it's interesting, even people that aren't muggles, the tarot readers of the world, I'll talk like we're talking about, how we're in the personal year of 5. I'll talk about the number 5 and the quality of number 5s, and then I'll pull out the 5 cards and show them to a seasoned tarot reader that's been doing it for 10, 20 years, and they're like, "Oh my God.
Yeah.
The numbers line up perfectly." It's like, yeah. And that's not by accident. The whole deck is structured numerologically, and that's why I teach it that way. And people that have been using tarot for years, they learn something new, and they're able to apply numerology to their tarot readings, and people that are numerologists are then able to discover how the tarot cards are a visual representation of the numbers, and it all just comes together. That's why I find it difficult. I can't even teach the two things separately.
Right, yeah.
When I started the Angelic Numerology and Tarot course, it was just Angelic Numerology because people wanted me to talk about angel numbers and numerology and sacred geometry and how the universe was created and how the angels were created, and why do the angels use numbers? How does numerology work? And when I started teaching it, I started finding myself pulling out tarot cards to represent numbers and things like that. Certain situation, and you can't talk about the structure of sacred geometry without talking about tarot, because the structure of the tarot deck is based on that. And then I had to take angelic numerology and tack on and tarot because I can't separate the two things. And even when I was just teaching tarot, going all the way back to 2004, I called it tarot by the numbers because I had to use numerology in order to do it. Jacqueline says in the chat room, she was born 11/11. Look at that. Master Illuminator number.
That's right, yeah.
So what you do is, okay, so that's the month and day, November 11th. So 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. So it's the month reduces to 2, the day reduces to 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. And then we already know the world year number is 1, so 4 plus 1 is 5. So Jacqueline is just like you and I, Suzanne. We're all in a personal year of 5.
Yay!
Lots of changes, high energy. You can get especially being a 1 year, as far as the world year, you can start new projects and accomplish them very quickly this year. You can write a book in just a month or two. Projects, new careers. I mean, just there's so much. Let's see. So Vivian, she caught on when I said everything in threes. She said even in hospitals, people die in threes.
Yeah.
And, having not worked in a hospital, I wouldn't know that. But, I guess if you're on the nursing staff or, doctors and other technicians that work in hospitals, they probably know that, notice it, just like they know about the full moon.
Yeah.
There was a question too. Jacqueline asked, my question is, I'm just starting my journey into mediumship. I just want to make sure that I'm on the right track. Shall we pull some cards?
Let's pull some cards. It's been a while since we've been able to do this.
I know. And by the way, I want to mention, let's bring it back to the personal year of 5 and the world year of 1, because she says that she's starting her journey in the mediumship. This is perfect, starting any new career or learning a new topic or something like that, and it can happen really quickly with that 5 energy there. So I'm going to try to pull some cards too here, but uh-oh.
Well, while you're doing that, Dax, I've got to say, I've just drawn 5 cards to kind of get a view on where Jacqueline is.
Mm-hmm.
And is she on the right path? And do you know what? It's really interesting because here we are talking about a world year of 1. I've got the 1 card. I've got the Magician card come up, and I've got the 10 of Wands, which of course is another 1 energy kind of ramped up. So it's nicely synchronistic there. What I'm going to say is we have yes is the short answer. I'm going to say you are on the right path, Jacqueline. However, it's not plain sailing for you right now, and this is why you're doubting yourself. It almost feels like there's some sort of pressure in your life, like maybe this is something to be ashamed of, or like it's almost like it's not a real thing. Like it's not a real calling or a real job, and I mean, I get that as a tarot reader. Not implying that you're doing your mediumship for financial reasons, but just that these sort of things, they come along and they, to some people, they just feel kind of flaky. And I feel like you've had that kind of reaction from some people. What these cards are showing me is actually that you are on the right path. That Magician card straight up tells me that, yeah, you are on the right path. But it's a bit overwhelming. That's what the 10 of Wands is all about. It's a bit overwhelming. And we've also got the 9 of Pentacles with the 5 of Pentacles. We've got the 7 of Wands. These are all cards that are telling me that you're kind of feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Too many thoughts running around your head. It's kind of getting in the way a little bit. You're overthinking things. So what I'm going to say to you is keep doing what you're doing, Jacqueline. Just let it flow naturally. And I think that's maybe a part of just keeping on with it. When you're at the start of a journey, you overthink things. And I know the first time I had a spirit come through to me, I've been reading the tarot for decades, but when I actually learned how to communicate with spirit, in that direct way, and somebody actually visited me in Circle, I was there and my analytical mind was working overtime trying to overthink it, and I put barriers in my path. It feels like you've been doing the same thing, Jacqueline, overthinking things a little bit maybe, or listening to those little voices in your head that says, was that real? Am I making this up? Do I really have a gift? You absolutely do. That magician shows that you are a conduit between the two realms. But don't let it overwhelm you. It is a gift, but it's a gift that you control. And I would say, if I were to maybe offer some advice, it's that you make sure you're training with somebody, for want of a better word, you're training with somebody legitimate. You're training with somebody who understands what your skills potentially are, where you are coming from spiritually, emotionally, physically, and make sure you're training with them properly, because you have an amazing gift, but like any gift, it needs training. Whether you're a surgeon, you're a carpenter, whatever, you need to hone your skills. That's what this is saying for me. And I would say, you say I'm 100% correct. Yay! So keep on with the training, but make sure you're training with somebody who understands where you're coming from.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about that, because when you brought that part up, I was going to ask Jacqueline if she's in Janice's angelic angelic medium course.
Yeah, because somebody like that would be really good. You know, somebody who knows their stuff, because it's not that there are a lot of charlatans out there, but a lot of people are very good at doing this stuff, but not very good at teaching other people to do it. And that's where finding a good teacher is, I would say, 75% of the battle. You know, it's like, no, this is how I do it, so this is how you must do it. Whereas a good teacher will enable you to figure this stuff out for yourself. They will teach you how to improve your skills and help you in a safe environment to figure this stuff out. And it is a communication, a bit like between me and my tarot cards. It's a communication between you and spirit realm. So having that teacher that understands you very well is so important. So Jacqueline says there, I was meditating and I had something move and I started to doubt myself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The first time it happened to me, I was sat in Circle in my protective bubble with my Circle members, and she had us put our hands outside of our own bubble of safety, and somebody held my hand. Well, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. So having a good teacher there will talk you through that process, because she recognized the change in my energy, even though we were silently meditating. She recognized the change in my energy. It was like, everything okay, Susanne? And I was like a child, somebody's holding my hand. And I was a little bit, I don't know what to do with this information. Yeah, exactly. If I'd have been on my own, I would totally have doubted my own sanity, let alone the gift that I'd been given. So having somebody that you can actually meet up with in your community would also help. And I don't know, you guys would know this better than me. In the UK, I don't go to them, but in the UK we have spiritualist churches, mm-hmm. where I'm guessing you have them out here in America, where you do pass on messages from spirit.
Janice holds a mediumship circle just like this via Zoom, except everybody's up on cam and mic every Monday.
See, and something like that would be perfect, because then, Jacqueline, you've got like-minded people who can guide you. Not tell you how to do stuff necessarily, unless you're asking that specific question, how do I do this? But they're your support network, they're your security blanket. They're there to hold your hand and reassure you that actually this is fine. Or this could be better. Let's find a way that you can actually up your game and improve your connection to spirit.
Yeah, so I'm going to highly recommend to Jacqueline and anybody listening out there, if you're listening in the recording, I just put it in the chat room, but if you're listening to the recording, it's angelpractitioners.com/angelmedium, angelpractitioners.com/angelmedium. Or if you're on our website, angelpractitioners.com, click on courses, you'll find it. the angelic mediumship course, mediumship and mentoring. That's the important part about it.
Yeah, that's what I like about
Janice does a lot of
that's-
mentoring,
yeah.
a lot of mentoring in her course and psychic development. And then she holds, in addition to the course, she holds a live mediumship circle every Monday too. So it's a fantastic course to take. And I'm just trying to think. It's on sale right now. So I have to go to the page and look. I think it's $197. It's usually $297, but it's $197 right now. Also, a couple other things. Vivian asked a question, and Pamela just joined us. Pam, we've been talking about world year numbers and personal year numbers, but now we're taking questions from the chat room. So, Pam, do you have a question? Can we do a mini reading for you? Or if you want to ask about the topic, if you want to ask about world year numbers or personal year numbers, go ahead. But if you want to,
Oh, what are we doing that? Oh, sorry, I thought I saw something. No, carry on. My screen's just scrolled.
yeah. So, Pamela, what? She says, "Do mine, do mine." What,
I was already typing that. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not.
oh yeah, yeah, we can hear you. What?
Yay!
What month and year were you born?
I was born on Canada Day on the centennial, which is July the 1st, 1967.
July the 1st. Oh, wow. So you're in a 9 personal year. And by the way, I kind of jumping around here. Jacqueline, I did pull cards for you, and I have them up on the screen still. We need, remind me, Suzanne, I got to go back and finish, because you were so into the reading, because we haven't done readings in a while, and you were so into the reading for Jacqueline there, and I was handling things in the chat room that I never got to my cards. But 9 is the end of the cycle, so it's really great that we're here in the middle of the year here, because this happens sometimes when people are in, we're in a world year of 1, new beginnings, and beginning of a new cycle, but Pam is in a 9 personal year, the end of the cycle. And so next year is her 1 year. So wait, how do you deal with that?
I don't know. I thought this year was supposed to be my 1 year. I thought like the 2017, doesn't that add up to 1?
Well, let's double check here.
Yeah,
So
good.
you were born July 1st, right?
Yep.
So 7 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 7 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. So you're in a world, you're in a personal year of 9, and we're in a world year of 1, because 2017, 2 plus 7 is 3 plus, 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 7 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So we're in a world year of 1, but you're in a personal year of 9. And see, so what happens with that? Well, okay, so what I always tell people, if they're going in January, going into a 9 personal year, but it's a 1 world year, spend the first half of the year cleaning the closets and
Yeah.
getting
That's what I've
the
been
things that, the things that aren't serving you anymore. That could be relationships. It could be physical objects that you haven't used in 6 months or a year in your house. It could be belief systems that don't serve you anymore. The job that just isn't doing it for you. You need to find a new job. And then the second half of the year, go into the 1 energy, especially because come January 2018, you're into a 1 year, a 1 personal year in a world year of 2, which we talked about before you got here, relationships, starting, what was I saying, partnerships, new relationships, mediating, doing things like that. So you're going to have the 1 energy towards the end of this year and into the beginning of next year. So that's what's going on with you. And if you want a reading or something like that, if you have a burning question, we can take you next?
Am I going to get my internet back? So I can...
Yeah, we should look into her internet.
Oh my God, I feel like I am in jail.
But before we do that, let me back up for just a minute for Jacqueline, because Jacqueline was wondering about her mediumship studies and is she on the right track and everything. And I did a 5-card yes/no spread and got 4 out of 5 yes. So it's a pretty strong yes. And then the central card is the Ace of Cups, and Cups is water. Water relates to the psychic abilities, and in the case of the Ace of Cups, there's 4 streams or rivulets coming out of the cup and coming straight down. And that's talking about the 5 senses. So it's, for me, what I get from that is for you to really develop, different mediums and psychics will start out where one of the clairs will be more powerful. And so that they might see things or they might hear things. Others might start out feeling things, smelling things, etc. All 5 senses. And the cards are telling me that they want you to work on all 5 senses in relation to the mediumship here. Also, Jacqueline, I wanted to ask you, it might not be right. Well, it could be now, but it might have been like earlier on before you started this. Was there some kind of conflict involved around your, I don't know how to put it, but like around your mediumship studies, were you at a crossroads and unable to make a decision to go one way or another? And the reason why I ask that is the 2 of Swords comes up as card number 1. It's the first one often in the past to the left here. I also want to mention that the only major arcana card that shows up is the Fool card. So it is taking a leap of faith. And it's the first card to the right going into the future. So it would be the near future. I want to say that coming up shortly, you're going to have to take a leap of faith with this. And Jacqueline in the chat room does say that I feel things more, so that's her first clair, and then somewhat at a crossroads. Yeah, I thought that. If you might feel a little boxed in about what's going on, but really, even though you might feel that way, it's not true. I think it's too. I'm getting a lot of Swords cards. Too many thoughts going on here. I even got the Susanne. I got the 9 of Swords. I got the got the 8 of Swords. So you kind of got to get a little more out of your head. Take that leap of faith with the Fool card, and just go for it. And I highly recommend, of course, Janice's course there, Angelic Mediumship and Mentoring. Vivian, I am in my head 100%. Yes. You're not a Gemini, are you? I'm wondering. Oh boy. Before we do Pamela's, let's go to, and Carol, if you have a question, if you want us to do a reading on something, let us know. But oh gosh, now I can't get back to it in the chat there, Suzanne. But Vivian asked about the second half of the year, and she's August 21st. So Vivian's birthday's still coming up here. August 21st, so you should be in a 3 personal year. If I did that right. 3, 11, that's 2 plus world year 1, 3. Yeah. did it right. Okay. I'm just really curious here. She's 1960, so aha, life path 9. That's the philanthropists of the world, the old souls, people that want to help people. And let's see. Her attitude number is master number 11, the master illuminator number. She's supposed to be illuminating the rest of us here, which also reduces to a 2, which is great at mediation and relationships and abhors conflict. So she's a 11/2 attitude. And as I said, you can just add your attitude number to the world year number. We know that's 1 plus 2 is 3. There you go. So 3, 3 is really a great year to be working on creativity and communication. And of course, Vivian is the host of the Friday show on Angelic Realms Radio. And so working on that and your creativity, it'd be a great year to come out with a book or a deck. Any creative project that you've been dreaming about. But I'm really getting, Suzanne, I can't wait to see what your cards are because I'm really getting book. But how you communicate this year is what's front and center, basically. On the flip side, you know, there's always the opposite side, right? On the other side of the coin. In a 3 personal year, things can be a little bit dramatic. You tend to be gossipy, you know, and trying to help others at your own peril. 3 years about bringing joy to all that you do. It's important to keep a sense of humor in a 3 personal year. Did you pull some cards?
I did, actually. I did. I pulled a few cards for Vivian. And just looking, like I say, looking at the second half of this year, what I actually see, and I do like to give a heads up when I see this card, because we did have the Tower card come in. Now, if you're new to the Tower, if you're new to tarot, sorry, the Tower card's one of those big scary cards. But being a natural optimist, okay, I always look at the cards around it and say, okay, exactly what's going on here. And actually what it looks like, we've got the 4 of Pentacles in there, which is, and the Page of Swords. So looking at the 3 of these in conjunction, it's kind of saying that the way forward is not to be focused on the dollar sign. That 4 of Pentacles, right slap bang in the middle, it suggests to me that you're kind of, at the moment, I don't want to go into too much detail because we're in public, but at the moment, things seem to be focused on the financial side. How can I make more money doing this? Or what's going on with my money? There's some element there. That Tower card implies that something financially is not working for you by being very focused on that. The Page of Swords, however, is that shining light right now. It's saying, do you know what? Trust your intuition on this. You know the best course to take as you move through the second half of this year. It's not been working for you on a very practical level right now. So don't be afraid to just go, do you know what? No, got this. It's not working. I'm going to do it differently. I know what I need to do. And that's the key here. It's about trusting your intuition. It's about moving things forward. So yeah, if Dax is right, you know, if you've got that book in front of you, financially it might not make much sense because writing a book takes a lot of time. It's really hard to do your job and get everything done while writing a book. But if that's what your passion is, that's what your intuition is telling you, that's actually the way that you need to move forward. You need to find a way to do that. So it's very much that. Carrying on as you are, it is not working. Trust your intuition. Stop fighting it. And the second half of the year is going to free you up to be amazing.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Awesome, Viv. And okay, Carol says, can you tell me something about me? And she's got her birth date there. Okay, so I'm going to do the numerology. We'll let Suzanne pull some cards. But before we do that, Suzanne, pull some cards and see what you get for, is Pamela ever going to get her internet back?
Let me have a look while you're figuring out the numerology there.
Well, I already did the numerology, and I just pulled a 5-card yes/no spread for Pamela. Now, I really have to explain this with the yes/no spreads because she's going to freak. Are you there, Pam?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I can't believe this is happening.
Oh my God! What is
Actually
happening?
up at my church right now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
On the internet there, because they did tell me a few weeks ago that I'm more than welcome to come up to use it and that, you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how are you joining us if you don't have internet?
I'm sitting up at my church. I've got 2 of them that I clean for and that, and it's wonderful because I can just go and take some time out though and come sit up here anyways when, you know, after I'm done working and stuff, and it's really cool because I can just sit, you know, on the pews and that and just meditate or whatever, right? I was doing that last night with the laptop though in another town because that's where the other church is. I'm going, oh, this is ridiculous. I need my internet back. We don't realize how much we use it.
So in a second, we're going to hear what Suzanne pulled for you, but I'm going to tell you what happened when I pulled a 5-card yes/no spread, just like I did with Jacqueline. And remember, with hers, I got 4 yes cards and 1 no. So 4 out of 5 no, that's a really strong, yes card. 4 out of 5 yes cards and 1 no. So it's a really strong yes. Well, I got the opposite with you. I got 4 out of 5 no cards and 1 yes card.
Oh boy.
Now,
got,
hold on, Suzanne. Hold on.
okay.
Let me explain this to Pamela so she doesn't like go and, I don't know.
I haven't flipped out yet. I've been good and I haven't sworn yet. I think 1 swear word came out today this morning when I phoned them.
all is not lost, even when you get, 4 no's. Because people want to take things as a prediction, like it says, no, she's not going to get her internet back. Obviously, that's not true.
Right.
It's not like you're not going to have internet for the rest of your life, right?
Ever.
That's not what it's talking about. What it's talking about, you actually have to look at the cards themselves to see what's really going on. It's how you're going about it now is not working. I got the Knight of Coins, which is it's the slowest moving knight in all the knights.
Yeah.
Things are plodding along. I got the 5 of Wands. It's just chaos.
Yeah, everybody's frustrated. They're not even, they don't want to answer my calls when I phone in to go, have you got something for me today? They're running from me. I said, I know you are. I didn't tell them I'm psychic yet.
Everything that's going on is just visually being represented. Earlier on in the spread, there's a 7 of Coins, and there's Pam like,
yep,
really,
yep.
But the most future card over to the right here, the very last card, is the 6 of Wands, the success card.
Yay!
Yay!
Well, they're trying something different today. They were trying
something different. Yeah. See, what they were trying before
is not working,
and it's not going to work.
I know.
They need to go at it from a different way. If it was me, I would just drop companies and change completely. Anyway, but
they're trying to do that. They're trying to get me to go with the phone company this morning. And I says, you're not making it work now. Why would I drop the company I've been with for 20 years that's worked all the way up until the past year?
Yeah.
Because you guys have done something on your end. And I found out the government apparently has the requirement now, the minimum requirement for internet is 15 megabits. And that's what I was trying to upgrade to.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And so it's I told them last week, I said, can you just put me back down to the plan that I had before, because all of us could use Netflix on that really slow thing or whatever, and it would blip every once in a while. Just put me back on that, because I'm tired of taking my laptop everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care at this point.
Now, let's see what Susanne got, though.
Well, yeah, mine isn't quite as bleak as tax, but I did still get 3 no's compared to 2 yeses. And yeah, it's just been, whatever it is they're doing, it's a case that they are so, yeah, they can't see the wood for the trees. So I don't know the full story about your internet. And I wouldn't understand even if you told me, darling, to be honest, because I have no concept of technology.
I know, and I'm trying to fix them both on both ends, going, just come out here and visually look at it, people.
Exactly. But yeah, what it looks like to me is, yeah, they have had so many people look at this. It's a case of too many deaths spoiling the broth. They don't know whether they're coming or going now.
Right.
This is actually saying, yes, you need to do something different. My initial suggestion would have been just change supplier. But I know that's not always easy. Some companies only have one supplier. You can't change it.
Yeah.
So it's what we are seeing, though, is, yeah, you are completely sick and tired of this.
Yep, I was patient.
Exactly. And it's like, I'm done now. You need to sort this out, or you need to just free me up one way or the other. We do have the Empress card, though. So that does imply there is a solution there. It's just they haven't found it yet. What I will say, though, is it does feel like it's coming. It's coming. I would say, I don't know how good you are at throwing your weight around. I'm too British.
I've been very good, and last week I started telling them that the TV is going to hear about it, and what else are we going to do? There was something. Oh, and go to the CRTC, which is the regulators for Canada for telecommunications. And boy, you know what happened with my telephone? I don't know if the guy even heard me. This poor guy was in the Philippines, and he told me that he could give me a $40 credit for my phone bill. I says, okay, fine. He goes, if you got a moment to put on hold. I says, yeah, that's all I've been doing. And he goes, I have to talk to somebody higher up. He came back with a $15 a month plan for the rest of my life, as long as I have an account with the telephone company. I said, I've already had it for 30 years. So all the services I have on my phone line is $15 a month, no matter what. And I says, I want the reference number, your name, and that. So they've got that on there. So I says, I'm fine with that part. Now fix my internet.
Exactly. And it does feel like escalating the situation is the only way to go. Make sure it gets pushed upwards now. You have been more than patient. This is ridiculous. You need to bring out the big guns. Like I said, I'm too British. I'm not comfortable doing that. But I will do.
I found out I'm British too.
Yeah, I've been told it's like being shouted at by a small fluffy bunny rabbit. It confuses people because look, you're so nice. Why are you shouting and getting angry at me? But you know, this is what it's going to take. Unfortunately, you're so close. Don't back down now. But there is a solution coming, and it feels like in the next, honestly, week or two, this is going to get sorted out.
Yeah, I feel it's going to be soon because I do have the next team up. They're called an escalation team, apparently, on the phone company side. I phoned into there, and then I got them they phoned my internet company after they've been trying to sell me on getting their service. I'm going, I'm on the same line no matter what. Fix it. Internet's coming in, but it's not talking to the other side. Communication, get it going. So there's 3 of us on the phone. I told them the stuff that's going on. Plus there was a tree that fell down a few years ago on the utility room. Maybe that's it. Come fix it. They're all, oh, okay. So just go back to the beginning. Start over like a scientist. Just do it. That's it. So I don't want to hear any more about it now until it's done. I'm not helping you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what I mean. It does feel like it is coming to a resolution, but you can't just sit back and wait for them to do it. They are unfortunately going to have to be pushed a little bit.
Oh, yeah, and I have.
You figured that though, haven't you?
I've been very polite. I mean, these guys are, one guy yesterday, he actually started swearing himself. He goes, I just don't know what to do. Anyways, I know. I said, if I drank beer, I'd have a beer right now. I said, I still owe you one from last week when I said that, because I said, if you drank beer, I'd be sending you one too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to send good energy. Like,
Yeah. Well, hopefully, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, I could do the radio show today again.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, we live with tech these days. It impacts so much of our lives when it's taken away from us. So yeah, it feels to me like the end of the week you will see some progress, possibly the beginning of next week for things to actually get implemented. But good luck, my darling.
Thank you. I'm going camping. I'm getting out of here with no internet, I think, this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't blame you.
That's probably when it's going to show up, is when I don't need it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just pick it up.
Yeah, it's fine. Great readings, you guys. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do Carol's now, and I was looking at the numerology while we were finishing up with Pam, and it's interesting.
What did you say?
So Carol is in, again, like Pam, a 9 personal year.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So just like with Pam, she may need to complete some endings, literally and figuratively clear out the closets, let go of things that aren't serving her before she progresses into the one energy. And so it'll be the second half of this year that she can really start manifesting. And then, of course, she'll be going into we'll all be going into a world year of 2 in 2018. Come January, Carol's going to be going into a personal year of 1. So she'll be able to continue the manifestation and really have a great year next year. But it can start the second half of this year, because that's what often happens when you're like a 9 personal year in a 1 year. Sometimes we're in a world year of 9 like last year, and people are in a 1 personal year.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? Well, it's the same thing. You have to figure out, which energy to work with first. And also, Carol's a 4 life path and an 8 attitude. So 2, 4, and 8, those are the business numbers. And if you're working the energy right, you can be really good at business. 4 is the number of structure. So Carol likes structure. She benefits from things that are, like if she's trying to learn something, she'd benefit from a structured way to learn that, such as a course, for instance, something that's structured. They like stability. And they seek security. Usually their home is their haven, just like it is for 6s. They can be very cerebral and need to find ways to relax their mind. They have great ideas, but more often than not, these great ideas live and die in their head because they don't take the action to actually manifest it. And that's the 4th step of manifestation. It's really interesting because we were talking about being in the year of the magician, Susanne, and in the class this week, we're talking about the cross of manifestation, which it involves the magician card and the 4 aces surrounding it making a cross. And those 4 aces are the 4 steps of manifestation. And the 4th step is taking action. What else can we say here? So 4s like everything put back in their proper place. So if if you walk into Carol's house and it appears unkept, sloppy, it's a sure sign that a 4 is not doing so well. And that 8 energy from the attitude number, 8s aren't happy unless they're financially secure. If they have a family, they want to be a good provider. Now, you can work that energy, both sides of the coin. In fact, unlike the other numbers, there's often not any gray area with the 8. They're either, right in alignment, and you'll find them reading investors magazines, and they're investing, and they're great with money. And the flip side of the coin is it can seem that money is completely unattainable, and it slips right through their fingers. And the 8 attitude, they really have no problem telling you what they think, but they can be a little too blunt. So it's best to, keep your sense of humor and focus on the positive things of life. So that's a little bit from the numerology. Did you pull some cards, Suzanne? What's going on for Carol?
I did. I've swapped to oracle cards for this one rather than tarot.
Oh, okay.
And 2 cards threw themselves out in a kamikaze style. So looking at those as well as the card that was drawn, and in this case, sometimes I really pay attention to the card that's at the bottom of the deck, because that's the hidden thing, or the thing that's least significant, depending what the reading is. So just looking at the second half of this year, Carol, coming up, I kind of feel like you like everything to be controlled and organized. You like to have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed and that kind of thing. What I'm saying to you is, for the rest of this year, if that's what you need, it's going to be a little bit awkward and uncomfortable, because really the final half of this year is largely down to synchronicity. Some might call it, divine intelligence, or, sort of cause and effect. So what we're seeing is all the hard work of the first half of the year is starting to pay off. You don't need to micromanage it. It's basically, that's actually a good way of putting it. Thank you, universe. You don't need to micromanage things now. You've done all the foundation work. You've done all the hard work, Carol. But what we do see is celebration coming. So it's, it's going to work out just fine. Just remember to take that deep breath, kind of let the universe go a little bit. You don't need to control everything so tight. It's like I'm going to use a horse analogy, and that's rubbish because I know nothing about horses. But, it's that feeling that if you hold the reins too tight, you keep pulling yourself up. I think that's how horse riding goes. That's the image I'm getting in my head from the universe. So I'm just going to go with it. So kind of loosen the reins a little bit. Don't feel the need to, don't feel the need to control every little detail. It's the universe. It's got you, Carol. It's got your back. It's going to make sure everything works out. You've done the hard work. Reap the benefits. And just kind of try and chill a little bit. Because if you do try and control things too much, you're just going to put obstacles in your own path, and you might not achieve quite the outcome that I can see as potential for you. So that actually happened to you with a horse. Thank you, universe, for giving me a visual metaphor that you understood. Yay! So yeah, just, the message is the universe has got your back, Carol. Don't micromanage things. Just chill, relax. You've got this, my lovely. You've got this. And I want to say to you, Carol, keep us posted as the months go on, because I'm seeing great things coming up here for you, Carol. I mean, awesome. Seriously, great things. If you just, have faith, let the universe catch you. You're not going to fall. And it's actually going to work out fine. Now, Carol said in the chat room that you find living with your Virgo husband difficult. Yeah, I can see actually yeah, that sort of conflict could be quite challenging. But actually, yeah, like I say, there is nothing really negative here. Just take a breath and relax. You don't have to be in control of every little detail. Don't sweat the small stuff. Let it go. Don't burst into song acts, but let it go. You know, because you got this, basically.
Let it go. I can't think of a song with that I would do it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one from Frozen that all the kids keep singing at me.
That was great. I'm so glad that everybody joined us that did. And even Pam, you know, she snuck in here late and still was part of the show. It was great. So remember, everybody, you're the magician. We got the second half of the year to go here, 6 more months. Take advantage of that one energy and manifest. Next year, it's the year of the High Priestess, Suzanne.
It is.
Yeah.
That's going to be an exciting year. Not that I'm wishing this year away. I have a lot to cram in between now and... We still have a lot of manifesting to do. We do.
Oh, yeah.
Including a home, in my case.
Yeah.
No pressure.
A magical year, you know, and maybe you didn't even know it was a world year of one until just now, joining us on the show. So, hey, that's great. You know now. That's why we do these shows halfway through the year, so you can get out there and start taking advantage of the energies. And now you know how to calculate your personal year, find out where you are in the 9-year cycle yourself, and you can take advantage of the one world year as well. Well, thanks, everybody.
Yeah, that was a really good show.
Yeah,
it was so great to do readings for people again.
Yeah. We need more of that. So if you're listening to this in archive, join us live so we can do readings with you. I think we need to do more promotion all week long to tell everybody, hey, you got to come and do readings with us.
Yeah,
be on the show live. Yeah. And, you know, if you don't want to join us through the Zoom app, you won't be able to see us on camera, which that might be a good thing. I don't know. But you can call in. Yeah, there's phone numbers. In fact, there's a couple of U.S. numbers, and the number doesn't change. The meeting ID number, it's always the same, and it's there on our posts. And there's also a link to international numbers. So all around the world, there's all these international local numbers you can call, and then you just put in the meeting ID, and then there's 2 U.S. numbers that you can call, and you put in the meeting ID, and boom, you'll be here. We'll see you in the participants list there. We'll be able to bring you on via telephone, and you can do readings with us and ask questions and so forth like that. So, and then live.tarotinsider.com is the way to join us every Tuesday via the Zoom app. Now, next week's show is going to be great. We're having Maria on, right, Suzanne?
We are, yes. That's going to be quite exciting.
Maria G. Moss, tarot teacher, angel practitioner teacher. She's going to be all, talking all about, learning tarot, and we'll talk about her courses and our courses and things like that too. So if there's any burning questions you have about reading tarot, you'll have Suzanne and myself and Maria here next.
Maria.
Yeah. Now, as we go into the summer, we're gonna we have some great interviews coming up. We're going to be spreading the shows out a little bit, though, so we might not be here like every Tuesday, but probably about every other Tuesday, something like that. Also, I know we won't be doing a show for sure on the 4th of July. So I'll mention that right now. I'm too busy on the 4th of July with my commitments at the American Legion. And also, people are busy on the 4th of July, so there won't be a show. However, on that following Saturday is the 8th. So July 8th, 7-8, 78 cards in the tarot deck. That is International Card Day. And so we're going to do a special Saturday show, July 8th, and we're going to have, we're going to be up here like this, only we're going to have everybody's cams and microphones on, and it's just going to be a huge party, and we can all talk tarot and International Tarot Day. And I'm hoping a lot of people join us. And then
Yes.
I think that following Tuesday is the 11th, so we won't, because we're doing the show on Saturday, we won't be there on Tuesday the 11th either, you know. But we do have some interviews coming up through the summer, and it's just going to be a more limited schedule through the summer. So
Yeah, because we recognise that people have a life. They go on holidays and that kind of thing. So, like, okay, so you don't miss us. We'll pace ourselves a bit.
Right. Okay, so we're going to say goodbye to everybody, and but we will see you next Tuesday with Maria G. Moss.
Yes, we will. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.